Following today on the program Freedom News Archive, Masorado County District 8 Representative Akara's grade has assured the public that there will be no protestation during President Weah State of the Nation's address during the week.
While President George Weah during the week conveys his profound sympathy to the government and people of Ghana after a truck carrying explosives intended for a mining collapse with a motorcyclist, resulting to tragic loss of lives in the western regions of the country.
These and many more are here today on the program Freedom News Archive. We will talk to our correspondents in the various counties to give us updates from there. And also, we will intersperse the Freedom News Archive with some old school Liberian music. So, if you are there carrying out your regular exercise this morning, I would like to say tune in to Freedom News Archive for the best news magazine program that this radio has to offer. Let's take our theme song down now and take our first development on the program Freedom News Archive. Montserrat County District 8 Representative Akara's grade has assured the public that there will be no protestation during President Weah State of the Nation address on Monday during the week. Making the disclosure at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism regular press briefing during the week, Representative Gray said he believes that those planning to protest to disrupt the President's State of the Nation address should seek permission from the government through the Ministry of Justice. According to him, though the Constitution of Liberia gave citizens the right to gather peacefully and petition their government, but citizens must do it in compliance with the law. The District 8 lawmaker added that Lofa County Senator Steve Sago's statement was an attempt to draw government attention, stating that the Lofa County lawmaker must use the legal means to address the matter with the government. Here now is Montserrat County District 8 lawmaker Akara's Gray.
Another question you asked was what the people of Liberia expected. I said to the minister, information is very right. It's not my responsibility to inform the public what the president will be saying in the State of the Nation address. But Article 58 is fair as a journalist to know that the president will present this administration legislative program and he will reiterate some of those legislation that he presented, for example, the Whistleblower Act, for example, the amendment to the Code of Conduct in terms of access declaration, the issue of the Women's Protection Act, for example, providing authority or direct procedural authority to the LSCC, etc. So we know the president will speak on that and make some presentation. So by Article 58, many of you, if you read that, you could preempt some of the things the president will be saying, but I cannot preempt what the president will be saying. You asked about the issue of the chairman in the Liberian Senate. We want to be very emphatic. I will pretend as if to say he didn't say that. Let me repeat. I will pretend as if to say that the senator didn't say that. Because the senator is a lawmaker, knows the laws of the Republic of Liberia, and we take an oath to protect, defend the Constitution and all other laws of the Republic of Liberia. All laws could be legislations that we even pass. Those are all the laws. Okay, so let me repeat. Now, I will tell you, as if to say, let me say that no protest action on the grounds of the Capitol building. I repeat, there will be no protest action on the grounds of the Capitol building of the Republic of Liberia. You want to protest? They protesting for someone who were elected and cannot just sit because the Supreme Court has come up with some ruling. You can go protesting within your country. I think that's the best way to go protest. But here at the Capitol building, there will be no protest action. Any other question? My minister? Okay. Again, let me say thank you very much, and we hope that Monday can be a great day. Those of you in the Hope Estate, I want to join us later on, so we can go through the rectangle of the cabinet building and that of the General Assembly, so you can see what we're talking about and the kind of work that is ongoing.
His Monserrado County District 8 lawmaker Moses Akawas Gray sending a caveat that no protestation will be allowed comes the president's annual address comes Monday.
President George Weah during the week conveyed profound sympathy to the government and people of Ghana after a truck carrying explosives intended for a mine collapsed with a motorcycle, resulting to the tragic loss of lives in western regions of the country. The blasts, which killed 17 people and injured 59 others during the week, left a huge craters and reduced dozens of building to thus discover pillars of wood and materials near the cities of Pasu, some 300 kilometers west of the mineral-rich western country capital Accra. Ghana President Nana Akufo-Addo called it a truly sad, unfortunate, and tragic incident and expressed deep condolence to the families of the deceased. This incident in the neighboring Ghana comes a day after a stampede in Liberia resulted to the death of 29 persons, with several others sustaining severe injury. President Weah called on Liberians to remember their Ghanaian brothers and sisters in their prayer during this difficult time for them, which coincided with Liberia's national tragedy. The Liberian leader also urged the grieving family to take solace in the Lord, saying the two tragedies in West Africa region are not insurmountable.
The trial jurors of criminal code D during the week adjudged the leader of a notorious criminal gang called Cuba Group and 5 others, including the wife of the group leader Nicole Pierce. This follows 29 days of legal battle between government and defense lawyers, which were characterized by claims and counterclaims, with the objective of convincing the trial jurors for verdict. The 10th of the 12 panel jurors Thursday, according to Freedom Judiciary correspondent, agreed that prosecuting lawyers led by Counsel Arthur Johnson established a case against the 6 defendants after the crime of armed robbery, while 2 jurors distanced themselves from their colleagues' verdicts. Those adjudged guilty are defendants Vanny Kezulu, alias Asonto, head of Cuba Group, and his wife Nicole Peters, Cuba Group chairlady. Others are Maurice Barr, Abu Sharif, Nat of Freedom FM, Emmanuel Bobodi, and Melvin Deba, alias Cuba's assassins. Our judicial correspondent further said that Judge Roosevelt Wade is expected to sentence the defendants pending the probation of office of Montserrat County to conduct a pre-sentence investigation on the defendants, consistent with Chapter 35, Section 35.5 of the prosecuting pre-sentencing guidelines booklet. They were indicted for attacking and robbing the private prosecutor Daniel Davis alias D Max at the Singing Bar Sweetak Margarita nightclub in 2021, Painesville, thereby committing the crimes of armed robbery.
Life is not easy to carry on. I know you've been trying so very, very hard.
Good morning, good morning.
But you got to be,
You just have to keep on trying in life.
if you wanna survive. You could be,
Let me say good morning to you, the news director William Tupa,
you may be a fool.
the editor-in-chief Jeff Jefferson,
We are just the same. One life
and all members of the news department that always making sure that Freedom News
for you. You even want to kill yourself. Don't give up, don't give up.
is balanced.
All there is life, there's got to be hope.
Good morning, our sports giant Thomas Kojo Rohat.
Keep on trying. One day, keep on trying.
Good morning to you, Esther Darling Taku.
Keep on trying.
Good morning to you, J. Yaka F. Quetta.
If you've been suffering for so long and there's nowhere to turn, just take it to the Lord in prayer. He will be on your side, and you're never, never gonna fall. You've been hurt so many times. You've been let down by all your friends. But don't lose your mind. Keep trying so hard. Some pretend they love you when you have.
If you are about now doing your regular exercise on a Saturday morning like this,
Give up, don't give up.
and in tune to the program Freedom News Archive,
As long there is
we would like to say welcome.
life, hope.
If you are celebrating your birthday today,
Keep on trying. Forever and ever.
if you celebrated yesterday,
Don't give up.
and if you are celebrating tomorrow, I would like to say happy birthday to you,
No matter how hard
happy belated birthday to you, and a happy pre-one to you.
we keep on trying. You gotta keep on trying. Keep on trying. Keep on trying.
Let me say happy birthday to you, Honorable Peter Dogba Jr. of the Chicken Soup Factory Black E community.
Keep on trying.
Happy birthday to you.
Keep on trying.
We take our next development.
The General Overseer of the World of Life Outreach Mission International and the entire membership of the church have expressed regret over the death of over 29 people at the church day-long crusades in the townships of Necru Town. The incident which occurred during the week claimed the lives of over 29 people, including children, at the D12 Memorial High School football field in Necru Town. Speaking during the week at the press conference on behalf of the General Overseer Apostles Ibrahim Kuman, the communications associate evangelist Kuman Bidesco Tume said the clergymen and the entire membership of the Word of Life Outreach, including the Christian community, regret the incident. Tume further disclosed that the church is currently making all effort to get in contact with the bereaved family. Here is Ibrahim.
Official press statement by the Word of Life Outreach Mission International, New Georgia Estate, Ghanansville, District Number 13, Mosurado County. The General Overseer of the Word of Life Outreach Mission International, Wolomi, and the entire membership of the church and the Christian community regret the loss of lives of several Liberians who were returning home after a deluge crusade in the township of Necru Town outside the nation's capital, Monrovia. Apostle Abraham Kremer, in a statement, said he is deeply saddened by the death of those Liberians, which occurred on Wednesday, January 19, 2022 at about 9 p.m. As we regret such incident, the church is currently working together with the Liberian National Police, who is conducting an investigation into the matter, and the findings will come out. At the same time, we are making all efforts to get in touch with the bereaved families who lost their loved one while seeking the gospel of Jesus Christ. May their soul rest in peace.
His evangelist Bidesco Cromander speaking during the week at a press conference on behalf of the Word of Life Mission International Church.
Seti Brothers Liberia has donated 50 bags of 25 kg rice to victims of the Nuku Town Crusade incident through the Redemption Hospital and 152 bags of rice to the Monrovia Central Prison. It can be recalled during the week at least 29 persons lost their lives and several other persons were in critical condition at the Redemption Hospital following a stampede that broke out when disadvantaged youth reportedly attacked worshippers at a crusade grounds organized by popular Liberian clergyman Abraham Kuman of the More Grace International Ministries. Making the donation on behalf of Seti Brothers, a representative of the company, Lawrence Capps, said the management of the company expressed sadness over the incidents, adding that 29 bags of rice is for the victim's family and the rest is for the patients at the hospital. Here now is Capps speaking to reporters during the donation exercise at the Redemption Hospital.
Operated by Mr. Paul Seti. I came to make the donation of 50 bags of rice. 29 goes to the 29 bereaved family, and the rest is for the hospital daily need for patients. And once again, we want to say sorry, Mr. Paul Seti. Say never mind to the family and the Republic of Liberia and the people of Ligutan. Thank you.
Receiving the donation on behalf of the victims in Redemption Hospital, the medical director of the hospital, Dr. Wilmita Williams Gibson, lauded Seti Brothers for the gesture. According to her, the donation will be used for the intended purpose. She also added that if of the 17 persons admitted at the hospital, 6 have been discharged, while 11 persons are still at the hospital ward. Here now is the MD of Redemption Hospital.
Of the Redemption Hospital family and the bereaved family of Mukusan want to say thank you to Mr. Seti for this kind gesture. We can assure you that we're going to deliver this right on behalf of the bereaved families because we have the names and addresses of all the family members that come for your body, write your name, your address, and everything. So we're going to deliver it to them in your name. Okay? The patients that are left on the ward, they also have a feeding program here, so we're going to add it there to that. They increase the number of times that we them go feed them once a day. So on the same time, and send out text. From the incident, we have 17 persons admitted. With this child, they go still have 11 persons on the ward.
She's the medical director of the Redemption Hospital, Dr. Williams Gibson. They're lauding Seti brothers for the gesture to the hospital. Earlier was a representative of the company, Lawrence Capps, presenting the 50 bags of rice to the management of the Redemption Hospital.
During the week, scores of citizens believed to be supporters of the Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Cummings were severely injured when state security fired tear gas to disperse protesting crowd. The protesters had gathered at the entrance of the Capitol building and the Temple of Justice, chanting slogans with calling for the fair trial in the ongoing criminal proceedings involving Cummings and other executives of the ANC. The Alternative National Congress political leaders had appeared in court twice to face alleged criminal charges levied against him by Brenna Lewis of the All Liberian Party for furthering the collaborating political party framework document. Prior to the police actions, ANC acting vice chairman Reverend Josiah Kennedy, in a conversation with Freedom FM, says the supporters were rallied by auxiliaries of the party to send a signal to the government that the party would not accept an unfair trial. Here is Josiah Kennedy.
There's a solidarity rally. We are here to ensure that we send a message to the Liberian government and to the international community that as much as we give ourselves in to the process, we want the process to fair and speedy trial. Well, we have understood that this case has taken two phases. The legal aspect is there and the political aspect is there. So this is a political, because the government knows that the strength of every person, the number of persons that follow them. So we have so many political strategies in our party. As a matter of fact, to let you understand that this rally was organized by another pressure group that is within, or an accelerator that is within the CPP. What's the name of that? That is called CYCPP, which is the Conscious Youth for CPP. They brought this out there and said in favor my standard bearer and my party. We brought it out there and we decided to join them in the solidarity support. Organized rally by the CYCPP. So we're going to be here up to evening hours, and then we're going to make some statements. Solidarity speeches will be made. Statements will be made by officials of the party.
When exactly?
So the process is ongoing right now. We're still gathering people. The supporters are still coming. We understand the traffic this morning was so bad, so it slowed the turnout. Of course, Mr. Cummings will be here because there's a solidarity support. There's a solidarity rally. He cannot be absent from this. Even if he does not want to come, whether his schedule does not permit it, he will be there by the voice of the people and the demand of the people to show up. So, like I said, the petition will be submitted. I hope that the government will show up some representatives and to receive whatever statement that we have waiting to be submitted. I will hope that they will avail themselves. But even if they decide not to turn out, the masses and the gathering of the people is just enough to let them know that the statement is being made. The government has given us the permission. We go to government, we inform them. As you know, we got a little distraction here, so
You're disturbing me.
yeah. So we have, so as you know,
For at the same time, the Assistant Secretary General of Jonathan Dorake expressed dismay over the actions of the police terming it a return of the war days. Dorake urged that the government should not use security force to arm peaceful citizens who intended calling on the attentions of the government to ensure a fair trials of their political leader that occur in a maintain want the president, the Weah-led administration, to repeal the law which gave citizens the right to peacefully assemble before using fire on them.
When a child is in cahoots with an armed robber, as a mother who wants to see a child grow, the other boy going, you have a question to answer. We're celebrating in apportionment. The international body who are even condemned the justice system in the aggregate portion, they are also celebrating a portion of the justice system. They are not just saying that kind against the whole thing. There are still judges that are reputable in this country. There was no issue in the court. One issue has to do about Mr. Kumi leave. That is it with our jurisprudence. It was denied. That was clamped down on the justice system. Even if we didn't cry about it, that was a clamped down on the justice system. Another issue was about the issue of having it live on TV. That issue is not within our jurisprudence. It was ruled out. So celebrating it would have meant that we were compelling the government to take it appropriate action. I'm not saying I'm not giving the justice system a chance. When your child will do good, look at it from the look at the performance, the past performance. So if the justice system has been criticized by the United States of America, it is a responsibility that we need to double up that. Like under our law, probably you don't know. And I think you should get a refund to know. Our law requires that people can gather peacefully. And if people have written the justice system, the justice system full into those people, probably the Solicitor General or the Justice Minister, then you contact the police. So, like I said, the money laundering case, the issue of the Justice Minister dissenting opinion as to whether the Solicitor General get involved or not get involved is something that you need to investigate. Some people are all stepping the bound. That government was on the 40 of recruiting belligerents who are not being rehabilitated. And some of them in the security sector. So they are all stepping the bound. You have heard about any problem.
His ANC Assistant Secretary General Elias was the vice chair, Reverend Josiah Kennedy, speaking during the week.
Sweet kids, our liver. Now go along. You take it from Peter today, Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. Sweet, living is sweet, whether rich or poor. Boy, don't pray for long fellow. They can pray for long life. As long as they live, the better we grow. Farm power is found. It can make you heavy. It's just like a volcano. They pray to capsize. Sweet kids, our liver. Not for go along. Human being can eat it. All of you can eat it. Kids, our liver. Kids, our liver. Oh, sweet kids, our liver. Not for go along. You take it from Peter today, or Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. You take it from me right today, or mother will take it from you tomorrow. Mama, oh, by your man, may your fuel.
Sweet cassava leaf.
To you got to cry.
One of the veterans of Liberian music is on this one.
That's enough for one person.
If you are doing your regular exercise this morning, like my news director will talk about, I would like to say welcome to you and thank you for tuning into Freedom FM.
Sweet kids, our liver. Not for go alone, mama. Human being can eat it, the deer can eat it.
Let me say good morning to you. That's you, Pape Jara Ama, alias the eagle, the biggest bird. Good morning, Pape. I'm told the eagle is doing his regular exercise this morning.
Human beings can eat it, all of it.
Happy birthday treat to you.
Sweet, sweet, living is sweet. What a rich
Honorable Peter Dogbo, Jr. of the Chicken Soup Factory Black E community.
Why not pray for
Happy birthday, Honorable Peter Dogbo.
long life? As long as they living, the better we grow.
A happy graduation treats go out to you,
You check it
Catherine T. Morris
from you.
of the Dubai Road community. You will be coming out of the walls of the La Cosette Demonstration School comes the 29th of January. Happy graduation to you.
Fine, fine, power is power. It can make you heavy. Look,
Let me say good morning to you, Editor Jefferson of the 72nd community. I'm told you are doing a regular exercise this morning.
it's our idea.
Our General Manager, Abraham Gossett, will also do his regular exercise this morning. Good morning, Chief.
Why not pray for Longfellow?
Good morning to you, Lawrence Kwawa.
As long as they living, the better we grow. My people. Sweet, sweet, kiss our liver. No go alone. As enough for one person, oh, it's a matter of time, Papa. As time is a lesson, yeah, brother, this ahead. I'm about to wait. Never where my way gone. You don't be your woe. I'm about to wait. Papa, yeah, 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 yeah.
Let's take this one down now. Let me say good morning to you, Avin. Avin got my back. I'm told that you are doing your regular exercise this morning, Avin. I'm told that you are doing your regular exercise this morning. Let me say good morning to you, Chief Avin. Okay, let's bring this one down now and run you through our development. The Senate Statutory Committee on Ways, Means, Finance, and Budget during the week began a 3-day budget hearing for the concurrence of the over 786 million United States dollars draft budget for fiscal period January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Deputy Finance Minister for Fiscal Affairs, Samara Wulokoli, presenting the revenue estimates to the Liberian Senate, said the new budget calendar year is historic in public financial management system in Liberia. He stated that the new budget calendar is aimed at maintaining consistencies in line with international best practices and with businesses and public enterprises in the country. Deputy Minister Wulokoli, however, noted that achieving the new budget calendar year will be changing. As such, he called for support of stakeholders in achieving the budget.
It is with deep honor and in discharge of our responsibilities that I present to you, on behalf of the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, the revenue estimates for the first calendar year, January to December budget in the history of public financial management system in Liberia. The new budget calendar is aimed at maintaining consistency with international best practices and also with businesses and public enterprises in our country. As you are all aware, it has been a daunting task as we have presented a special budget barely over 5 months ago, which are still in its implementation stages. And we again have to do this at this time. However, it is a challenge that we have prepared for, and with your support, distinguished members of the Liberian Senate, we are pleased for the success thus far. I will take the opportunity to present to you the revenue envelope from both income perspective and economic sector perspective. Income perspective. The total revenue envelope for FY 2022 is United States dollars equivalent of $711 $85,587,301.25 United States dollars. 13% of that amount, or Liberian dollar 21 billion, is domestic currency, and 681.9 million, or 87%, is actual United States dollars. The average annual projected exchange rate by the Central Bank of Liberia is United States dollars 1 to 202 Liberian dollars, adjusted as at today's date, 150 United States dollars. Total projected revenue for domestic resource mobilization is USD 640 million, or 82%, while external resources account for 145 million, or 18%. Revenue assumptions are supported by the following macroeconomic and tax policy assumptions. GDP in dollars for 2021 is estimated at 3.2 billion and is expected to reach United States dollars 3.3 billion in 2022.
At the same time, the Deputy Finance Minister said the Liberian economy, as per statistic, is flourishing under the George Weah-led government base compared to the previous government. He, however, stated that policies already in effect will be further strengthened to ensure that there is continuous growth in the economy.
The statistics speaks to the good health of the Liberian economy under our stewardship. For FY 2022, there are no new tax policy measures underpinning this budget. However, we intend to further strengthen those policies that are already in effect. Tax revenue, from which forms the dominant share of the government revenue, is comprised of compulsory transfer to the general government sector. This aspect of DRM, domestic resource mobilization, will account for a little over 492 million United States dollars, or 63% of the revenue envelope. Comparing this to previous year, it is an increase of 30.7 million, or 6%, which is a remarkable feat in just 12 months, considering the externalities such as the coronavirus disease. Tax revenue are derived from the following 5 sources: income and profit taxes, real property taxes, tax on goods and services, international trade taxes, and social development contributions. Non-tax revenue will account for 148.3 million United States dollars, or 19%.
His Deputy Finance Minister for Fiscal Affairs, Samora Wuro-Kori, there presenting the draft national budget to the Liberian Senate during the week.
Liberian early morning of this week woke up to yet another tragic incident at the Detour Sport page in Newtown, where at least 29 persons lost their life and 7 others are in critical condition following a stampede that broke out when disadvantaged youth reportedly attacked worshippers at a crusade ground organized by popular evangelist Abraham Command of the More Grace International Ministry. This is the second time a stampede during a crusade has taken place in the country, with the most recent one taking place in Magidi County in November of 2021, when Ivorian pastor Prophet Mohammed Sanungut hosted a crusade in the country. Our reporter Jared T. Morris visited the scene of this tragedy in Newtown and filed this report.
Woke up to yet another tragic incident at the D12 Sports Page in Newtown, where at least 29 persons lost their lives and several others are in critical conditions following a stampede that broke out when disadvantaged youth reportedly attacked worshippers at a crusade ground organized by popular evangelist Abraham Command of the More Grace International Ministries. Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jara disclosed that the catastrophe resulted to 29 deaths, with the victims comprising 18 adults and 11 7 children. Among them were 2 males, 16 females, 5 kids, and a pregnant woman. Dr. Jala added that apart from the deaths, a total of 15 persons are admitted at Redemption Hospital, 6 in emergency room, 2 in maternal wards, including 7 children.
29 individuals died, 11 children, and 18 adults. 1 was a pregnant woman. The injury that occurred, there are currently 6 individuals in the emergency room, 2 on the OB ward because they are pregnant, and 7 children. They are still alive and they are on the ward currently. 29 individuals died, 11 children, and 18 adults. 1 was a pregnant woman. This is a very sad incident. We are taking measures. The Red Cross is here. They are setting up a tent on the field in the back of the hospital area where family members who have noticed that their family members went to the crusade and have not returned can go and bring pictures or any way to identify their family members.
President George Weah, who visited the scene, expressed sadness over the incident as he announced 3 days of national mourning across the country. The Liberian leader also emphasized that going forward, there will be serious restrictions imposed to guard how crusades and other huge gatherings in the country are organized to avoid repeat of the tragedy.
We want to express our sympathy to all of the families and lost their loved ones. It's a sad day for us. So we are also praying to God and hope that those our citizens that died so rest in perfect peace. And moving forward, we have to now put in measures how crusades have been organized because we got a lot of juveniles that die. So to what age a citizen will go to a crusade and dimension the place, the site, and how many persons will go into crusade. We are all religious people, but again, we must have the necessary space. So now we will do our best to be monitoring crusade. When the people are over then the capacity, then we have to make sure we streamline.
At the same time, Police Inspector General Colonel Patrick Sulu disclosed in an interview that Prophet Abraham Nkrumah was invited for questioning following the stampede, adding that 1 person was arrested with a knife while other arrests are being made by the police. The Police Inspector General further assured the public that investigation is ongoing as to what led to the stampede, and anyone found culpable will face the full weight of the law.
We show the public that investigation is ongoing as to what led to the stampede. We arrested a few persons and we are talking to them, and at the very short possible time we will get back to the public. So we are saddened by the news we heard yesterday. When the incident occurred last night, I made my way here and what I saw was very devastating. However, my regret here is that the Liberia National Police was not informed of this particular event. Whenever there is an event that will draw huge crowd, we usually appeal and talk to the organizer to have the police informed. By you informing the police of your rally, your protest, it does not mean that they are going to stop you. When you come and inform the police of your event, what we do here is we in return provide the level of security so as to ensure that everybody who is attending that event are well secured and go to the event and get back home safely.
For his part, Representative Dixon Sibo, whose district the tragedy occurred, expressed regret over the incident and said he was concerned about ensuring that family members of the victims identified them.
Before I left the hospital by very close to 12:30 last night, I checked up to 28 people, 17 adults, and of the 17 adults there were 15 females and 2 men and 11 kids. What we are doing is to work along with the hospital to identify the individuals and families that are concerned. My mood is more into family issues, identifying, of course, eventually because police were present, if it was actually caused because of thieves or armed robbers, the police will eventually identify those people and the investigation is going to go in that line.
Meanwhile, eyewitnesses in separate statements provided different accounts of the tragedy.
My daughter last year, one army Maggie, the man grabbed my daughter. She was not talking to me. Her neighbor break. She is 3 years. I believe God because the grace that I'm honored. He will bring my daughter back to life. I know the God of Pastor Kroma is serving. He is not serving a deaf God. He is serving a living God.
The way the crowd was coming to the pulpit, it was very heavy. The crowd was too much to the pulpit. Even I believe that people were dropping when they were coming to the pulpit to pay their offering. I mean, people were paying collection, people were falling down. People went up, they started forcing them to come to themselves.
There were a group of boys in our way to the gate here. They were stopping people from coming out. They were saying easy, and when you're trying to go back again, no way. They stop right to the gate. When you want fight to come out, no way. They're shopping you back. Myself, I took my sister drunk. I took the baby from my sister back. I hold the baby in the air like this. I hold the baby, my people, y'all help me, my baby. I want to around, no way.
This is the second time a stampede during a crusade has taken place in the country, with the most recent one taking place in Magibi County in November of 2021, when a foreign pastor, Prophet Mohammed Sonogo, hosted a crusade in the county. 2 children lost their lives during the tragedy, while several others sustained injuries. Reporting for Freedom News, I am Gerard Morris.
Hey, thanks to our reporter Gerard Morris. But Gerard, you were the first reporter that went on the scene. Tell us how this entire, how was the scene when you arrived at the scene, at the event there?
First of all, when I went at the D12 post page, I broke down in tears. Even before I started doing my report, I broke down in tears because Benjamin Quay Johnson, what I saw at that field that day was very much devastating. Can you imagine? The slippers of many victims were packed in a bundle. When I saw that script, my heart, actually, I don't know, but while interviewing some eyewitnesses gave me different account of the situations. Others said it was a disadvantaged youth trying to steal their things with knife right at the entrance. You know, Benjamin, at the entrance of that D12 field is a very narrow path where all the groups that were at that crusade, right, in numbers couldn't have fit there. Can you imagine? Others were outside trying to come back in, while others were in trying to get out at that very small gate. That where the whole situation led to the dying of our people in there. Others are saying that situation is a spiritual one, while others are blaming the disadvantaged youth for the situation. I think that is a very, very sad moment for our country.
Gerard, lastly, let me ask you the other questions. So, to you, looking at the situations, I believe the presence of state security were at that crusade, because Pastor Kumar is a man who always, when you move, he moves with police and police officer. So, do you believe?
During my interview with Colonel Patrick Suru, the media team interview with Colonel Patrick Suru, he said he was not given prior notice to that huge gathering. And I spoke to our eyewitness, who is a woman, that said she never noticed any security presence at that area. Only securities that were at the pulpit guarding the prophet Abraham Kumar.
Okay, Gerard, let's now, because we'll be soon joining our correspondent from the various counties. Let's go straight to our
music to intersperse the program. She's Princess Fatou Gifler, the queen of our time. Let me say good morning to you. That's you, Alvin M. Jones Jr. of the People's Liberation Party Youth Wing. I'm told you are following the broadcast right now. That's you, Big Brother Alvin M. Jones of the People's Liberation Party Youth Wing. Let me say good morning to you, Mr. Jala Aman Senior, alias Eagle, the biggest bird of Tuput Road. Let me also say good morning to you, Jara Aman Jr. of Sinker. Happy graduation treat goes out to Catherine T. Morris of Tuput Road. You will be coming out from the Lacoste Demonstration Schools comes the 29th of January. Congratulations, dear. Let me say good morning to you, Blessings Peters. That's you, Blessing Peters of the Chicken Soup Factory Community, Black E. Good morning to you, Abel Aman of Tuput Road. Happy graduation treat to you again, Catherine T. Morris of Dupont Road. You will be coming out of the words of the Lacoste Demonstration School. Shortly at 5 minutes past 7 o'clock, we'll be joining our correspondent Godfrey Morris of Miami County. I hope Godfrey Morris is on the standby now. At 5 minutes past 7 o'clock, we will take Godfrey Morris of Miami County. And at 10 minutes past 7 o'clock, we will take our correspondent from Bon County, Newton Tokpa. Newton Tokpa will provide us happenings there in Bon County. Let me say good morning to you, that DJ Moko. He said he's following this broadcast. DJ Moko, welcome. Let me say good morning to you, Judy Jacobs of Tuput Road. I'm told that you are following the broadcast, Judy Jacobs of Tuput Road. Let's take this one now down and run it through our development. A renowned Liberian legal practitioner, Councillor Prayer Brambu, wants ex-defense minister Brownie Samka to allow justice prevail while urging him to desist from using citizens of Lofa County to cause instability. In recent time, there has been a series of protests from the people of Lofa County regarding the ex-minister Samka's criminal case that is before the Supreme Court for litigation. The court's delay is preventing him from taking a seat at the Liberian Senate since the 2020 senatorial by-election. But Councillor Prayer Brambu during the week told our judicial correspondent that statements from permanent citizens from the county, to include Senator Steve Zago, Chairman on Defense and Security at the Senate, to boycott the President George Weah annual message is troubling. Here is now Councillor Prayer Brambu.
In the same situation here now with the court, he doesn't want justice to take his course. He using all other means to his advantage and using the masses, M-A-S-S-E, mass. People, let me let y'all know, when y'all let these people use their minds, M, what is left? When you take the M from masses, it's asses, A-S-S-E-S, asses. Don't let them make asses out of you all. Because people from Lofa County, long time time they used to call them boozy people. And from that one time, we who know history and listen to the elders, in fact, they say the Israelis didn't do it because of his loyalty. So why now, Samaka, you stay there? In the first place, he should be happy that the former soldiers who money he took, not getting in the street to get behind him to get him money, then you want to go Honorable Steven Zago. You know what happened? We have everybody to have freedom of speech. But when you're in certain positions, just like you see, I say, I agree with the Chief Justice or Justice, because certain position you cannot do, certain thing is not prudent. Because why? In the first place, I feel Senator Zago should resign his post as Chief of Security for the Senate.
She's a renowned Liberian legal practitioner, Councillor Prebram Boo, blasting citizens of Lofa County that want to cause instability in the country.
Acting Public Works Minister Ru Kokron College High stressed the need for increment in the ministry budget allocated in the current draft national budget. According to Acting Public Minister's College, if the $1 million allocated to the ministry for equipment is increased to at least $5 million, it would enhance the ministry's effectiveness in its operation throughout the country. Speaking during the week when she appeared before the plenaries of the Liberian Senate, the Acting Public Works Minister disclosed that increment in the amount will provide more logistical support to the ministries. Here is Minister Collins.
Whether Liberians were being considered in our contracting process? The answer is yes. And as we can speak up to date, we have 225 Liberian contractors that are fully registered for contracting. We have 12 for consultancy. We have for roads, we have 72 contractors, and for building, we have 141 contractors that have passed through our system and is in our database for contracting. So just name a few of them that participated, because our process is transparent. We post our plenary process through the PBCC website. Those that participated, the list a few of them that were considered as responsive bidders. I can name a few of them. We have Arrow Group, the Brown contractor. We have Jupiter. We have New Millennium. We have JD. We have Desire. We have Southern Rock, Cement and Steel, and the list goes on. So we have a lot of Liberian contractors that are participating in our process. A couple of examples could be the two. Milestone that was done by a Liberian contractor, and many of our projects, like I said.
Like he earlier had told you that we're going to be joining our reporter, our correspondent from IGB County, Godfrey Morris, is on the line. Good morning, Godfrey. Good morning, Godfrey. Godfrey, good morning. Godfrey, good morning.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, I'm getting you clear.
Okay, good morning to you and good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia.
How are you this morning, Godfrey?
Well, I'm very good this morning. We're experiencing a kind of cold in Kakata this morning, to be specific, and it is a wonderful thing because we usually experience this around January, so it's no strange to Liberians.
We know. Maggie is a kind of a mountain county, so we expect all of the things to be happening during the dry season, especially January. But Godfrey, bring us up to speed about what unfolded during the week in that county.
Well, there are a lot of issues that unfolded in this week in the county. It was a scene of traumatic experience when Maigibi County Superintendent Jerry Vani was being held on a hostage by officials of the Maigibi Sport Association and also players from the angle of the basketball and track and field for about an hour, even the mayor of their salary. It all happens when Maigibi County came third in the football version of the National County Sports Meet, and also came second place in the basketball and track and field. And so for the football version, according to the players, they have been paid for the 3 games they play in a group stage. And so the county is still owing them the quarterfinal stage, the semi-final, and that of the third place. But according to the basketball and that of the track and field and the 2 other disciplines, and also the technical staff of the MSA that yet to receive a cent from the country. And so yesterday, the secretary, along with the development secretary and other kind of officials, were being held on a hostage in the offices where the official door to the entrance of the office was being locked by the country, by the technical staff of the Margidi School Association for about an hour. And let us with Nigeria, other people talked to them. And so we released the secretary and went to GT Bank, he brought some money. But the coach is saying that the country is calling you 1,000 USD, and while the system code is being owed 1,000 USD. So the money the kind of officials brought was not enough, to have paid the technical staff before the basketball and the track and field. And so after about an hour again, we saw the players to come in, and the kickball coming demanding their salary. But the kind of officials said for the footballer and the kickball they were going to pay it on Tuesday. But they are saying that was scheme for the angle of the Superman. Protest after the country man has become a tradition in the country now, so there's no restriction on Nigerians. Once the job money is in power, they are less that this will continue to happen until they leave power.
The pay will be done Tuesday or next week or this 1 week.
No, for the players or the football and then the kickball, the current officials are saying that. But they are saying that was scheme for the angle of the secretary and the court of officials, because protests after country me by Nigerians and that of the football have become a normal tradition. And so on no condition this time around the secretary was scheme them saying that comes Tuesday they're going to receive the banner money. So they didn't accept it. We left there at up to 7:30. And so other people talk to them and they have to leave because like I said earlier, the money the secretary all people brought from GT was not enough to have paid the technical staff before I could say the football and that of the kickball.
Okay, thank you, Godfrey Murray, for filling in with the later development from the county during the week. We'll join you next week on the same program.
Yeah, so before leaving you, yesterday it was a show of jubilation again when Nimba County officially arriving my Gibi County were on the way to the county Nimba, and they stopped here, they had a ceremony, and it was being done by the National Patriotic Party chairman, my great Charlton Rosenzo, and that of the deputy coach. And so, the Nimba Sport Association chairman said that this success is going to be a continuity for the next 3 years because you are taking an oath for the anchor of Nimbarans that you gave them the trophy for 3 years. And so yesterday, Nimbarans from all word of Latin, my because from the lower end, from Kipi District, other part of the country, they came in Kakata yesterday, and it was a scene of jubilation for Nimbarans celebrating the national country sportsman trophy.
Okay, Godfrey, thank you for filling in.
Thank you very much for having me on Freedom Radio this morning.
Okay. He's how my Give correspondent Godfrey Murray that filled in with later development that unfold during the week. Okay, we also will be joining our Bon County correspondent Newton Tuba to fill in with the latest development tool from our county. The program is interspiced with development, music, and all sorts of programs. So we'll be joining Newton Tuba from Bon County. Newton is on the line. Good morning, Newton.
Good morning.
Newton, how you doing this morning?
I'm great, and you?
We are doing well. Newton, we like to hear what happens in the county this morning, and also during the week.
You can fill us up in with trending information from the county during the week.
Okay, I'm grateful to join the Twitter FSM this morning. Some of the major happenings during the week has to do with a rape issue in Sarala district. So to be precise, police in Bon County have charged and sent to court a 42-year-old man for allegedly raping a 15-year-old girl. This happened on Monday. where this man is married to a lady, and what happened is that the wife of this man caught the little girl and this man in the bedroom. So when that happened, she got agitated, she got irritated, so she decided to assault the little girl, by beating her and what have you. So the little girl, she got outside, trying to escape and what have you. So when she got outside, she went to the nearby area to ask somebody that is to eat.
Hello,
Newton, are you there?
Newton?
Newton, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. You're still alive.
Yeah. So while she was escaping, she went to the nearby area and somebody was able to give her a laptop so that she can go. So, but thereafter, the issue was not taken to the police station. But the woman continued to threaten the little girl. Each time she sees the little girl, she said, anytime you see my husband, you will use different route, don't pass the same direction. But if you consider the day I do it around my husband, using threatening remarks. So the legal parent, took the issue to the police station. And so when they took the issue to the police station, they indicted the man. So when you went to the police station, the people said the girl is underage. So that's how he was arrested and put behind bars. So yesterday the police charge was statutory rape, and he was being stolen at the Salala Magisterial Court. So currently, as we
too bad. We lost Newton there. So Newton, you can call back. You can call back. Or,
you can call us back.
Ben, can you please call back to Newton?
Yes, because this story is interesting.
You can play.
We'll get back to Newton.
While getting back to Newton Tukpa, let's okay. Newton is on now. Yeah, Newton, welcome.
Yes. So like I was saying, yesterday the case was being forwarded at the Salala Magisterial Court, where he was being charged with statutory rape. And personally, as we speak, he has been remanded at the Baga Central Prison pending investigation.
Okay, so
is there anything trending again that you want to tell us about?
Yes, another thing again this morning, according to reports, Bon County Senator Prince Chamumwe will be in Salala District, and his visit is intended to appreciate, the citizens for his women victory in the just ended special senatorial election. So we visited various communities in the district this morning as to appreciate the people for his women,
Okay, we hope you follow that development, and we will join you next week to get more of the details of this story. Okay, that's our correspondent from Bon County there, Newton Tukba, filling in with related development during the week.
Let's now bring this one down now, the process down now, to take our development here on the program Freedom News Archive. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Transport, says it does not recognize a group under the banner Liberia Traffic Management, which has printed and erected billboards in and around Monrovia, claiming to be the provider of driver's lessons and vehicles plates. The ministry, in a press statement during the week, stated that the group is operating falsely, as the ministry has received no prior knowledge of its operations in the country. Making the disclosure Friday of this week, the Director of Communications at the Ministry of Transport, Lemuel Clemmy, said the ministry is not aware of how the group is structured to dispense the legal services of the Ministry of Transport. As such, they are yet to understand the intent of the group. Director Clemmy further that the action of the group is an infringement to the legal statute that created the ministry as the sole authority to deliver similar services it is providing to the people of Liberia. According to him, the group's action is not only in the maker to public policy and constitutionality, but also put threats to the safe and procedural revenue collection of the country, thereby undermining the social economic growth of the country. Here now is Lemio Clemi.
We have called you today to speak to the general public through your different medium as it relates to trending issues which border on the legal workings of the Ministry of Transport, particularly the issuance of driver license, vehicle registration, and plates to the driving public. And in order to provide clarity, the Ministry announces that in the midst of ensuring security, integrity, and reliability in our services for the good of the government and people of Liberia, it is observed that a group calling themselves Liberia Traffic Management has printed and erected billboards in and around Monrovia purporting or claiming to be the provider of services relating to issuance of driver's license vehicle plates with no prior knowledge of the Ministry of Transport or legal reliance by law. How the group was structured to dispense the legal services of the Ministry of Transport is yet to comprehend and is totally an infringement to the legal statute that created the ministry as the sole authority to deliver these services to the people of Liberia. This action by the Liberia Traffic Management is not only inimical to public policy and constitutionality, but poses threats to the safe and procedural revenue collections of Liberia, thereby undermining the socio-economic growth of our country. The Ministry of Transport was created and established by an act of national legislature in 1987 to administer all modes of transportation and promulgate transport policy.
Meanwhile, Director Clement also disclosed that plan is on the way to fully decentralize the ministry services across the country, with support from the national budget and partners aimed at making services accessible to the people. He added that with the assistance of partners, training is being conducted for staff assigned at services center in Grand Bassa, Margibi, Nima, and Bon counties, and equipment will be procured to operationalize areas, including additional services center for effective deliverable.
Training has been conducted for staff assigned at service centers located in Bikona, Grand Bassa, Kakata, Madibi, Ganta, Nimba, and Banga Bon counties, respectively. And equipment will be procured to operationalize these areas, including additional service centers for effective service delivery. Currently, the ministry has identified other centers in Banjamo, Lofa County, Bo Waterside, and other sites include the Ministerial Complex and the SKD Sports Complex in Pinsville, Osa, Monrovia. All these efforts are consummated to enhance quality service delivery and maintain security and public safety in the issuance of driver license and vehicle license plates to the public. Meanwhile, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, the ministry remains committed to ensuring that by law it executes its statutory mandate for the good of the Liberian people. The Minister of Transport, Honorable Samuel Ewulu, has met with his corps of lieutenants at the level of the ministry.
He is the communication director at the Ministry of Transport. Lemio Clement there, providing some updates from the Transport Ministry.
Prosecuting lawyers have filed applications before the Monrovia City Court seeking evidence from Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Benedict Kumi to prosecute him and his officials. Liberia Chief Prosecutors Councillor Serena Seaford during the week told the court that Kumi is in possession of the original framework document that featured in providing their case against the defendant. The country chief prosecutor cited Chapter 17, Sections 17.3 of the Criminal Procedure Law as the reliance to the court to grant such applications.
That's the original CPP framework document that was signed on May 19, 2020. He has refused to give copy to even Joe Boakai or Nyobli Kanga or Benina Yuri. All the copies he has, they don't know the law. Read 17.3 of the criminal procedure law. There is a trial procedure. Criminal trial procedure is governed by the criminal procedure law. It is the one that they signed on May 19, 2020. The one they signed. Nyobli Kanga and maybe Benina Yuri will be subpoenaed by us. They will testify to the fact that the document in question, which form the basis of this action, still in the possession of Ellie. Wait and see.
But resisting prosecuting lawyer's request, defense lawyer Councillor Ibrahim Slai says the application to the court for defendant to prove evidence against themselves is strange in the jurisdictions. Councillor Sila claimed that since his clients pleaded to their criminal rate, the burden of proof remained on the state lawyer until the conclusions of the matter.
Minutes before the trial commenced, the prosecution sent us a motion referred to as a motion for subpoena justisticum, meaning that they are requesting the court to order the defendants to produce cited documents that they rely on in order to establish their case. We resisted the motion, and this is quite interesting and it's good for the public to know. In our criminal justice system, one who alleges a fact has a burden of proof. So it is quite ridiculous for the Ministry of Justice to accuse, charge the defendants, but they come and say the evidence I'm depending on to prove my case is in your possession, you present it. I say it is ridiculous because it exposes the Ministry of Justice to gross inadequacy. Gross inadequacy, I repeat myself. It is an elementary principle of law that a defendant charged with a criminal with an offense in a criminal case has a right to the presumption of innocence, has a right to remain silent, has a right and a constitutional protection against self-incrimination.
He considered Ibrahim Slai alias was Liberia Chief Prosecutor Councillor Serena Sifa.
Criminal Court C has ordered the arrest of Police Inspector General Patrick Sulu and his deputies for reportedly disrespecting the court's order. Judge Safar Kere during the week mandated its sheriff to apprehend the police chief and his deputies to compel their appearance in court for contempt. Judge Safar's action, according to our judicial correspondent, was triggered from Inspector Patrick Sulu allegedly refusal to surrender 6 suspected criminals to the court following a writ of habeas corpus from the court. Judge Kerry claimed. Our judicial correspondent further said that prior to Judge Safar Kerry's decision, several writs of summons were issued for Inspector General Patrick Sulu and his deputies for contempt, but they refused to appear without any notice to the court as provided by law.
Chief Justice Francisco Bart has urged judges across the country to adjudicate cases without fear of favor for the promotions of peace and development in the country. Justice Kabor made this assertion during the week in Banga, Bon County, when he commissions the resident judge of the 6 judicial offense divisions of the 9 judicial circuit court in the county. Chief Justice Kabor says he does not doubt the appointment of Councillor Cornelius Winnie to Criminal Court E in the county, and that the creations of special court to deal with sexual offenses in the keeping with government overwhelming determination to protect women and girls from sexual gender-based violence.
Judge applies the law. You apply the law as made by the lawmakers. I want you to take over here to apply the law. If there is a relative of yours involved in a case, you know what to do. You gotta ask to recuse yourself. Don't sit on the case and make a determination. You'll be wrong because you got interest. The judge's interest in the matter requires him to say, look, I will step aside, let somebody, another judge who is neutral, come and take over the case. Don't fall prey to that. There's an interest in the case that you will be sitting over. Right me, I will appoint another judge to come here. I don't sit on that case. This goes for all judges, magistrates. Oh, that's the way we do it. You don't do that. I want you to treat your people, because you are amongst your people, fair. There will come a case where a little girl is raped brutally and maybe somehow damaged. Take that case serious. No friendship. The law says the court you're going to preside over, the cases are non-bill. Apply the law. You're going to do preliminary examinations because as we have ruled, and the law is preliminary examination aspect of cases like these don't lie in the magistrate court. Be fearless. Let me tell you a story.
For his part, Councillor Winan says he will use the law as it told in dispensing justice at the 9 Judicial Circuit Court in Banga. Judge Winan assured Chief Justice Kabor and citizens of Bon County that the law will be used as an instrument for those who will be seeking justice at the court.
I am most grateful. My gratitude also goes to the President of this country, His Excellency George Manneh Weah, for having reposed confidence in me. I will at this juncture say to you, Mr. President, that your confidence in me will remain upheld. I'm specifically appreciative of your honor for having taken time to travel to Bon County. I'm also appreciative of the opportunity you afforded me when I served in your office as a clerk. I'm very grateful to your honor for being here today. The president or chairman of the Bon County Legislative Caucus.
At the same time, Bon County Superintendent Estes Walker lauded President Weah for the appointment of George Winner at criminal court, pleading local of the county committed to work with him for the overall improvement of justice systems in the county.
From the government, we promise we'll work with you from the executive branch of government that we have done before. We support the courts. We'll make sure we always address our limitations from the executive branch. But we are working for common denominator for the betterment of Liberia. His honor and all other associates. We say thank you for putting Bon County women on the map because Soma Wena is our son. And so we promise we'll continue to give those pieces of advice that we will be able to work according to the oath he took and to support the courts, not individually. Thank you so much.
His Superintendent Walker speaking during the week earlier was Chief Justice Francis Cobor and Councillor Cornelius Winner.
APM Terminal Liberia have procured new container handling equipment aimed at improving service delivery and to ease of doing businesses at the footport of Monrovia. The equipment, which includes 3 new camera reach stickers and 4 modernized twin lift spreaders, purchased at the cost of US $1.5 million, is part of the company's investment into retooling in its strategy attempt at improving port efficiency at the footport of Monrovia. At a brief ceremony with stakeholders and partners of the port industry in Liberia to celebrate this achievement, Deputy Minister for Finance and Development Planning, Augustus Flomo, who delivered a keynote address, took the opportunity to reiterate government's plan to support key companies who are at the height of the Liberian economy, such as APM Terminal. Here is now the Deputy Minister Augustus Flomo.
A few years ago, our reflection of transforming the economic lives of Monrovia. And I remember in some of those rooms where we were talking about the business environment, business standards, economic expansion, and about trade and commerce. There were conversations around the capacity of the port to deliver on what the government was seeking. And so in the planning process, in intervening in the space of the business standards, and improving efficiency, and supporting the economic expansion of Liberia, the responsibility was given to very strong people. And I believe that the port management, the current management, and of course, the APM team saw the vision and accepted the challenge. So today we are here in Malaysia to celebrate you and to celebrate Bill and
He is Deputy Minister for Finance and Planning, Augustus Flomo.
capacity, efficiency, delivery, the team.
With that development, this is how I would like to end this fascinating edition of the program Freedom News Archive. But just before we go, the big stories we are following today on the program Freedom News Archive. Monserrado County District Number 8 Representative Akaos Grade has assured the public that there will be no protest action during President Weah's State of the Nation address on Monday.
As President George Weah during the week conveys his profound sympathy to the government and peoples of Ghana after a truck carrying explosives intended for mining collapse, with motorcycle resulting to 17 people dead in the western regions of the country.
I would like to say many thanks to our reporters, contributors, editors, and director of news for making this weekend edition of the program a success. On behalf of the entire news team here at Freedom Communication Incorporated, I am Gerard Morris
and Benjamin Quay Johnson.
We'd like to say goodbye and join us next Sunday for more news. You can also follow us on www.freedomradioliberia.com, or you can follow us on Freedom TV. Good morning from Monrovia.